Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut this overlapping peplum top with a cold shoulder. If that sounds like what you like to know, then keep watching. If this is your first time of you coming across my video, please subscribe. And for my returning subscribers, thank you guys for always supporting me. So without wasting your time, let's get started. So I'm going to start by drafting my back pattern, or you can as well mark directly on your fabric. So I've marked my shoulder to my chest, my shoulder to my bust, and my shoulder to my waistline. For my back neckline, I marked 3 inches for my width and 1 inch for my neck depth. And I've also gone ahead to mark my shoulder measurements divided by 2. Now the next thing I'm going ahead to mark is my bust measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inch for my sewing allowance. And from that point, I'll connect my armhole curve. On the waistline, you will mark that of 1/2 inch on both sides and connect it to the bust point. And after that, you will mark your waist measurements divided by 4 plus the 1 inch you're going to be using for that and 1 inch for sewing allowance, or you can mark 1.5 inches. And when you are done with that, go ahead to connect your point and cut out your pattern. And that is it for the back piece. Twist my fingers up on a bang on them. So now that I'm done doing that, I will place it on a fresh pattern paper that is on a fold. So I'm just going ahead to pin it down. And when you are doing that, ensure that you have at least 6 to 7 inches from your center back. This is to make room for the overlapping at the front. So I'm just going ahead to measure what I have. And now that I have that, I'll mark 6 inches from the center back. So from that 6 inches, I came up by 3 inches. So the next thing you're going to do is to trace your back neck width, and from the neck depth, you come down by 5 inches. Now you are going to connect from the neck width to the center front, which is this point. And now that you have done that, you will go ahead and cut out your pattern, and you will start by tracing around your back piece. And after that, you will use the pattern to cut out your fabric. And now I've done that. This is it. So we are going to place it together with the lining. I will be using it to turn it. So make sure you place it right side facing each other. So I will take it to the sewing machine and I will turn the neckline, the armhole, and the side seam. But if you are going to be adding a full sleeve, you do not have to turn the armhole. Just turn only the neckline and the side seam. So for the front part, I'm going to place it together with the lining. But before I do that, I'm going to attach my belt. So I marked 1 inch from the waistline. And I'll go ahead and pin my belt from that 1 inch, just like this. So I will pin it down before I place it together with the lining. So I'll go ahead and turn both the armhole and the side seam. And this is my back piece. I'm just going ahead to notch around the neckline before I turn it to the right side. I actually forgot to turn the armhole, but I'm going to be doing that. So the next thing we are going to do is to mark our darts. So I'm just going ahead to fold it into 2. And from the center back, I'll mark the nipple to nipple measurements divided by 2. Just go ahead and mark the exact measurement you mark on the pattern. And when you are done marking it, you will take it to the sewing machine and stitch down the darts. So I'm going to be doing this both for the back piece and the front piece. And now I'm done with that. So this is my back piece. And this is my front piece. And as you can see, I have torn every other place with lining except my shoulders. So the next thing we are going to do is to join them together at the shoulder line. So I'm just going ahead to place them right side facing each other. And in order to have a clean shoulder joining, I'm going to pass through my lining from the waistline and I'll pick the front shoulder joining, just like so. So I'm going to pull it to the wrong side and I'll align them together. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, just look at what I'm doing. I'm also going to show you from this other side. Just pass through your lining and you pick the shoulder joining like this. Then you pull it out from the wrong side and align them lining to lining, shoulder to shoulder. This is one of the best way you can have a clean finish if you want to. So after aligning them together, you will stitch it down with 1/2 inch. So I'm going to be doing this for both sides. So I'm done doing that and I'm just going ahead to pull it out. So let me turn it to the wrong side. Can you see? Can you see how neat it is? So the next thing we are going to do now is to join them together at the side seam. So I will place them right side to right side. But before I join them, I'm going to be attaching my belt to the other side. I went up by 1 inch and I placed my belt. And I will use the second side of the front to join them together. So I will stitch them using my joining allowance. And after joining them together, this is what I have. So I'm just going to set it aside and cut out the peplum. But at this point, you can go ahead and add your sleeve, but I'm going to do that after joining my peplum. And I'm going to be cutting out a 360-degree flea. So I folded my fabric into 2, and I'm going to fold it again. So from the folded edge, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divided by 6.28, which is the formula to find your radius when you are cutting a 360-degree flea. And my waist measurement is 35 inches. So divided by 6.28 will give me 5.7. So I'm going to mark 5.7 inches at this point. And I'm going to do that all around. And after that, I will connect my markings. So from this point, I will mark 10 inches, which is how long I want my flea to be. And after that, I will connect my points, then go ahead to cut it out. Make him lick red like a tomato. If him not dead, then he come at us. No. So I'm done with that. I'm just going to open it up and slit open one side of the flea. And now that I've done that, I will take it to my sewing machine and hem the lower part. But if you are going to be using a lining, you will go ahead and cut out your lining and use it to turn the lower parts. And when I'm done hemming the lower parts, I will also be hemming the edges. And now that I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to join the lower parts to the upper parts. So I'm going to pin them together at the waistline. So I will take it to the sewing machine and join it together with 1/2 inch. So after joining them together, this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my sleeve. So from the shoulder joining, I will mark 3 inches. You can mark 4 inches depending on how low you want your coat shoulder to be. So this is a piece of fabric I'm going to be using for my sleeve. And here I have 17 inches. And for the length, I have about 10 inches. So at the edge here, I marked 1 inch, which is what I'm going to use for my sleeve joining. And from the top part, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches. And that is going to be for the elastic casing. So I'm going to fold it in. So I'm going to take my sleeve and I will fold in the 3 inches I just marked. So what is left of the armhole is what I'm going to trace out. So looking at it, you will see that I did not include the 1 inch for the sleeve joining. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take it to my sewing machine and I will fold in 1/4 inch. And then I will fold in about 1 inch, just like this. And I will stitch it down. I'm also going to be doing the same thing for the lower parts and also for both sleeves. So I've done that for both sleeves and I've also gone ahead to cut out my elastic. So for the upper part, I cut out 8 inches, and for the lower part, I cut out 7 inches. So make sure you take your own measurement and use it to cut out your elastic. So I will go ahead and pass my elastic through my channels, and you can use anything that basically works for you. It could be your safety pin, your sewing thread, anything that works for you. And when I'm done with that, I will take it to my sewing machine and secure the ends of the elastic. And when I was done with that, this is what I have. Now I'm going to flip it right sides together, and I will close the side seam using the 1 inch allowance I added. And I'm going to do this for both sleeves. So let me do that and show you. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach my sleeve. Now we are going to match the side seam to the side seam. That is the side seam of the top and the side seam of the sleeve. And I'm going to match it together like this. And I will stitch from the side seam towards the upper parts. Then I will turn it to this side and stitch from the side seam to the other side. So I'm going to do this for both sleeves. And after that, I will show you what my final result is looking like. And that is it, guys. Hope this video was useful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Drop your question in the comment section, and I'm hoping to see you in my next video. Stay blessed.